And it's a liberating fucking feeling to know that I am not what happened to me. My whole life I thought I was. Hey guys, welcome to an all new episode of A Couple Things with Nicole Feliciano. I feel absolutely amazing right now. Episode 2 is going to focus on what happens after speaking up when you've come out about your sexual assault. I want to give you guys just an update on what's been going on and what I've decided to do moving forward. I feel like I'm in a great headspace right now, so this is a perfect time to film this episode. I'm a little nervous of the wind blowing, I will say, just because my camera's on a tripod. I also want to thank people for the support that they've given me on my first and second video. It has been interesting, to say the least, and to see what I've learned ever since I have come out and ever since I have put my video up on YouTube and let my story go wild for the entire world. There are so many of us going through the same thing, and we have to do something about it. It's unfortunate that we have to take it into our own hands, and I don't mean violently, I just mean justice-wise, with the government and with just seeing what we can do to keep ourselves safe and keep this from happening to other women and children. And boys. Let me stop, because this absolutely happens to men, this happens to boys, this happens to absolutely anyone that is a human being. First question is, why did I choose to speak out at the time that I did? I believe I came out February, March of 2019. 2019 or 2018, if I'm not mistaken. And I had watched Finding Neverland, the Michael Jackson story of what had happened with Wade Robson, and it was such a different approach for a documentary. I'm not used to seeing something like that. And if you haven't seen it and you are only like jumping on the bandwagon to say Michael is not guilty of these things, I suggest just watching it. Watch it. It's a very different approach than we usually see. And it made me really sit back with myself and ask myself, why am I keeping it to myself anymore? Like, who am I really hurting? Because I was hurting myself. And aside from hurting myself, I was allowing this person to continue to exist at the same capacity, not knowing or not thinking that this could absolutely happen to someone else or my siblings, you know? Oh, I'm cold. So I chose to speak out because it just came out of nowhere. And I wish I would have spoken out sooner. I really, really do. But I didn't understand what had happened to me. I didn't know how to deal with it. It's just the weirdest thing how it happens. Everyone has a very different story. But I'm happy that I did come out, I have to say. What did it feel like to open up my story to the world? We know how social media is, so I'm gonna say it was freaking scary as hell. But more than ever, it felt like people were able to relate to me on another level. Like, we all genuinely have the same story. I did get annoyed because I had to filter out my comments. There were a lot of people that were very negative. There were a lot of people that were telling me, oh, so what, get over it. I don't have anyone in my family that communicates with me. They are protecting my father by staying silent and by minding their business. I think that's a huge problem. It has showed me who cares about me. I let it roll off my tongue, if that makes sense. Like, I no longer have this thing where I feel like I have to hide it or I'm gonna feel shame. I have nothing to feel ashamed for. If you were assaulted, you have nothing to feel ashamed for. You did nothing wrong. So it's important for you to separate that so that you can speak about it more, so that you can let it go on another level, and so that you can do something about it, depending on what you want to do about it. Do I feel I made the right decision? Yes. It has changed everything about my life. And when I say that, I mean mentally. Even physically, it has changed me. It felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Again, I absolutely wish I would have said it sooner. Did I lose family? No, they lost me. Like, I didn't lose anything. And anybody that doesn't want to be a part of my life, adios. You can go, because that means you never wanted to be here. It was never real, it was never genuine, and you never had my best interest at heart. If I know someone that shared a story like this with me, I would absolutely see what I can do to support in any way I can. I would provide like an ear to listen, and I've learned whom to trust and who my real friends are. Have there been any updates or rebuttals? The person, my father, continues to deny it. He is currently living a wonderful life, so to speak. I don't really want to bring my siblings into this at the moment, but I've communicated with my sister a little bit, and I've chosen not to communicate with her anymore because I don't want to feel silenced. I don't want to feel as if, now that I've gotten to this place where I can speak out with full confidence about what happened to me, and with no remorse or no shame attached, I don't want anyone to ever silence me again. And so I don't care who you are. You could be my parents, you could be my sister, you can be anyone. I'm not going to accept it in my life. That's where I draw the line. So we cannot be friends and family until she decides to hear my story and know my side of the story. More updates. I want to say that I am working on something. What I'm working on is it is the most important thing that I have ever done in my life, that I will do in my life, and it will be successful, and it will change lives, I hope, and it will help people that are in these similar situations to have a better guidance, to know which directions they can take, to have options. We need to do something. And anyone who's interested in knowing what I'm doing, feel free to message me on social media. I'm happy to share it, but right now, I kind of want to keep it under wraps because I take it very seriously, and it's a very big project, let's just say. What advice would I give to those who have not spoken out? I would say, this is your only life. And it can feel like a prison, a mental prison, when you are holding this in. It is imperative to do this for yourself when you are ready. And when I say when you are ready, I don't think you're ever going to be ready. I don't think there's ever a time one is ever going to be ready. Just know that choosing yourself first is of the most importance. And make sure you have a support system, somewhat of a support system. Again, it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying this yeah, girl, do it. Your life's going to change the next day. No, you're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. But I have to say, from my personal experience, because I could never speak for anyone else, it has changed the way I communicate, the way I think, the way I look at myself. My level of growth, I'm a whole different person, and I'm grateful for speaking out about it because it's my truth, it's my story, it's who I am because of what happened to me now, And I'm not going to stay quiet for anyone, because that only hurts me. It doesn't hurt anyone else. It hurts me. And if someone else is to get hurt, for example, the person that did it to you, that is on them. They decided to do it. They have to deal with the consequences, and we have to make sure that we have to stop putting men, we have to stop putting men and vile people ahead of our own emotions, our self-worth, our self-respect, our dignity. They do not deserve to keep this from us and hold it our entire lives so that we can stay imprisoned with the over and over thought of what has happened to us. No, it's time that we unite and we do something about what has happened to us. You get ready. You get ready. I was not ready. You just become ready, and then you take the punches as they come. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt, because you're gonna notice your growth. You're gonna notice how you are no longer communicating with certain people the same way. It's called boundaries. Boundaries. And having boundaries for yourself is everything. It supersedes respect, because boundaries, when you show yourself boundaries and you hold them and you don't let anyone cross them, that right there is showing people how much you respect yourself, which in turn is going to make them want to respect you on another level. And then follows loyalty, and then follows character and everything else. But boundaries, I've learned this year at 34 years old, it comes first. And it's a liberating fucking feeling to know that I am not what happened to me. My whole life I thought I was. Do I plan on seeking action? If so, what form of action? Yes. Again, I am working on a very big project. I don't have a date on when this is going to come about, but it's gonna happen, and I promise you it will bring some sense of change. Hopefully for my case as well. But I don't know about going into a case per se, because I don't like the feeling. I see what happens to women and people, and I don't want to go through that. So I'm not quite sure yet. Lastly, it says I should mention my project. I kind of reminded myself to do so, but I don't want to. Not yet. Stay tuned though. Before I go, I feel that it is important to note that I recommend rainn.org, RAINN.org. I'm going to put it in the description box below. It's where I get information on sexual violence, and I feel that it is helpful. Hi, you guys.